As the nationwide free COVID-19 vaccination campaign at government facilities for those above 18 years is underway, we advise our young listeners to get vaccinated and also to help others to get vaccinated. We also advise our listeners not to lower their guard as COVID-19 remains a threat to our health. Please stay at home unless it is essential to go out and continue to follow these 3 simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene. For any COVID-related information and guidance, contact national helpline numbers 011 2397 8046 and 1075. And now the news in detail. India's External Affairs Ministry on Thursday said India supports the government and the people of Afghanistan in realizing their aspirations for a peaceful, democratic and prosperous future where the interests of all sections of Afghan society are protected. Briefing media, Ministry spokesperson Arindam Bagchi said India-Afghanistan bilateral relations are guided by the Strategic Partnership Agreement which was signed in October 2011. He said that External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar had emphasized India's long-term commitment to the development of Afghanistan at the Afghanistan Conference 2020 held in Geneva. On the abduction of the daughter of Afghan Khan diplomat in Pakistan, the spokesperson termed the incident as shocking.
This is of course a very shocking incident. It involves 2 other countries, that's Afghanistan and Pakistan, and usually we would not comment on it. However, since the Interior Minister of Pakistan has dragged India into it, I would only like to say that even by their standards, Pakistan's denial of the victims' account is stooping to a new low. As regards the security of the Indian High Commission and our personnel in Pakistan, I would not like to get into specific security-related measures.
Meanwhile, Afghanistan once again expressed deep concern over the continuation of unprofessional remarks by Pakistan's Interior Minister regarding the abduction of the daughter of its ambassador in Islamabad. In a statement, the Afghan Foreign Ministry said that the continuation of unilateral statements and unprofessional prejudgments to the ongoing investigation will call the transparency of the investigation into question and result in increased mistrust. China remains non-committal on the return of Indian students to their universities, despite accepting that it has allowed students from South Korea and the United States. Prasar Bharati correspondent in Beijing reports that in a show of double standards on the matter, Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson Chai Lijian took its oft-repeated stance. A report.
In response to a question from Prasar Bharati, the spokesperson indirectly confirmed that China allowed South Korea and US students to return. He said that he is aware of the reports on return of students from South Korea and US, but on the matter of Indian students' return, he said that China is looking into the matter on the basis of epidemic prevention. China has closed its borders since the beginning of the pandemic, but relaxed it this year in March for certain categories which did not include students. Around 23,000 Indian students have been waiting for their return to their universities for last 18 months. Anshuman Mishra for World News, All India Radio, Beijing.
China recently urged the US to reconsider its denial of study visas to more than 500 Chinese students. In the beginning of this month, the China International Student Union, an organization campaigning online for the return of foreign students to China, wrote an open letter to Chinese President Xi Jinping, drawing upon his comments in 2010, when he referred to foreign students as forever a friend of China. The letter drew attention to the precarious situation of these forever friends of China that only China can remedy. On the issue of visa denial to Chinese students, Chinese Foreign Ministry has said that China had lodged stern representations with the US over the matter and urged the US to correct the mistakes and reconsider the visa applications. However, on the issue of the return of foreign students to China, Foreign Ministry remains silent.
India's Foreign Secretary Harshvardhan Shringla will leave on a 2-day visit to United Kingdom on Friday. India and the UK had adopted an ambitious roadmap 2030 to elevate bilateral ties to comprehensive strategic partnership in the recently held India-UK Virtual Summit in May. During his visit, the Foreign Secretary will meet with his counterpart and conduct a detailed review of the bilateral relations with particular focus on the implementation of the 2030 roadmap. He will also discuss regional and global issues of mutual interest. External Affairs Minister of India, Dr. S. Jaishankar, said that the Mekong region is of great importance to India and it seeks multi-dimensional engagement with the Mekong countries. Speaking at the 11th Mekong-Ganga Cooperation Meeting, Dr. Jaishankar stressed upon the need to broaden the base of the partnership by identifying new areas of cooperation. He called on the member countries to enhance physical, digital, economic and people-to-people connectivity. Describing the Mekong-Ganga cooperation as the oldest sub-regional cooperation, the minister said that it stands on a strong foundation of shared geographical, historical and civilizational ties between the 6 countries. Speaking at the event on Wednesday, Dr. Jaishankar expressed pleasure at the inauguration of the MGC website and a video documentary highlighting the shared cultural, historical, religious, social and economic bonds. The navies of India and Britain participated in the 2-day bilateral passage exercise PASSIX, which concluded on Thursday. The Royal Navy Carrier Strike Group CSG-21 was led by HMS Queen Elizabeth in the Bay of Bengal. In a statement, the Defence Ministry said that the bilateral maritime exercise was designed to hone the ability of the 2 navies to operate together in the maritime domain. The maiden exercise between Indian Navy and the Royal Navy's latest aircraft carrier, HMS Queen Elizabeth, included participation of the CSG-21, comprising Type 23 frigates and an Astute-class submarine, in addition to the other surface combatants. The statement added that the exercise afforded an excellent opportunity to engage over the entire spectrum of maritime operations. Regular Indian Navy, Royal Navy interactions over the years have augmented their professional content, interoperability and adaptability in the ever-changing security scenarios.
U.S. Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin said he will emphasize America's commitment to freedom of the seas during his upcoming week-long visit to Singapore, Vietnam and the Philippines. It is his second trip to what he called America's priority theater of operations. Previewing his trip to the Indo-Pacific region, Secretary Austin also discussed the situation in Afghanistan on Wednesday. Secretary Austin also said that he would make clear where the U.S. stands on what he described as some unhelpful and unfounded claims by China in the South China Sea. And this is All India Radio, giving you the world news.
The centre is disseminating awareness of national helpline numbers for the benefit of citizens during the COVID-19 pandemic. The helpline number of the Health and Family Welfare Ministry is 1075. The child helpline number is 1098. For senior citizens of Delhi, Karnataka, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Tamil Nadu, Telangana, Uttar Pradesh and Uttarakhand, the helpline number is 14567. The helpline number of National Institute of Mental Health and Neurosciences, NIMHANS, for psychological support is 08046110007. Ayush COVID-19 counselling helpline number is 14443 and MyGov WhatsApp help desk number is 9013151515.
Welcome back. The External Affairs Ministry on Thursday said India's domestic vaccination program has been continuing at a rapid pace. Replying to media queries, Ministry spokesperson Arindam Bagchi said India has been in touch with the various partners regarding the possibility of importing vaccines to supplement domestic production. On the approval of WHO for Covaxin vaccine, Mr. Bagchi said Bharat Biotech had submitted its request along with all necessary documentation to WHO earlier this month. On the recognition of Covishield by the EU, Mr. Bagchi said more than half the EU member states have already recognized Covishield. He further said India has been taking up with foreign countries the need to ease travel restrictions of Indians. He said this easing will be an important step towards economic recovery post-COVID for all the countries. The spokesperson said there have been some positive steps in this direction of easing restrictions. He hoped that more countries will continue to take steps towards normalizing the movement of people from India. Now let's take a look at the coronavirus updates from around the world. Bangladesh is set to reimpose the strict lockdown from 6 a.m. on 23rd of July. The decision comes after an 8-day relaxation given in view of the festival of Eid ul-Azha. Prasar Bharati special correspondent in Dhaka reports that the government has decided to close all offices and factories, including the export-oriented industries and ready-made garment factories this time around. People will not be allowed to move out of homes except in case of emergencies and purchase of essentials. The World Health Organization (WHO) has warned that vaccine inequity is undermining the global economic recovery. In a statement, the WHO, quoting from the Global Dashboard for COVID-19 Vaccine Equity, said that the COVID-19 vaccine inequity will have a lasting and profound impact on socio-economic recovery in low and lower middle income countries. It appealed for urgent action to boost supply and assure equitable access for every country, including through dose sharing. The new global dashboard on COVID-19 vaccine equity finds low-income countries would add $38 billion to their GDP forecast for 2021 if they had the same vaccination rate as high-income countries. A new study published in the New England Journal of Medicine has found that 2 doses of BioNTech, Pfizer or Oxford AstraZeneca's COVID vaccine are highly effective against the Delta variant. YouTube said it pulled several videos of Brazilian President Jair Bolsonaro for spreading misinformation about COVID.
As the biggest sports event of the world, the 32nd Summer Olympic Games is set to open in Tokyo on Friday. All eyes in India are glued on the country's 127-member strong contingent. This is India's biggest contingent at the Games. India will compete in about 85 medal positions across 18 sporting categories in the rescheduled Summer Olympics. In today's Hotspot section, All India Radio joins the nation in cheering for Team India at the Tokyo Olympics.
The biggest sporting carnival is barely a few hours away. Sports fans across the world are eagerly awaiting the start of the Summer Olympics in Tokyo from Friday after an year-long delay due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The mega quadrennial event will kick off with a highly anticipated opening ceremony tomorrow, Friday at 4:30 p.m. Indian time. However, the event, to be held at the newly built National Stadium in the Japanese capital, will be a scaled-down and a sobering affair amid the COVID-19 pandemic. The ceremony will have none of the usual splendor and grandeur associated with an Olympic Games opening ceremony. Long-time opening ceremony executive producer Marco Balick said that the opening ceremony of the Summer Games will be a sobering show in Tokyo and will feature beautiful Japanese aesthetics. He said the event will be very Japanese but also in sync with the sentiments of today, the reality. Rising COVID-19 cases in Tokyo have cast a large shadow over the event that has already been postponed last year because of the pandemic. Japan had announced that the participants will be competing at empty venues so that the health risk amid the COVID pandemic can be minimized. Fans will see a much smaller team parade in an almost empty Tokyo Olympic Stadium. India's Deputy Chef de Mission, Prem Kumar Verma, said that only 6 officials from every country are allowed at the ceremony, although there is no cap on athletes. The opening ceremony has been an integral part of every Olympic since the first modern games were held in Athens in 1896. It presents an opportunity for the host country to promote its national identity to the world. Leaders from around 15 countries and international organizations, including French President Emmanuel Macron and US First Lady Jill Biden, are expected to be in attendance at the glittering ceremony. A total of around 11,000 athletes from 206 countries are expected to participate in 33 sports in Tokyo Olympics. More than 120 athletes from India will be performing at the biggest sporting extravaganza. Legendary boxer MC Mary Kom and men's hockey team skipper Manpreet Singh will be India's flag bearer at the opening ceremony. As the clock ticks towards the fast approaching 32nd Summer Games, all eyes in India are glued on country's 127-member strong contingent to prove their mettle. This is India's biggest and also the strongest contingent ever at the Games. India will compete in about 85 medal positions across 18 sporting categories in the rescheduled Summer Olympics. In one of its best rendition, India bagged 6 medals, including 2 silver and 4 bronze at the London Olympics in 2012. However, at the Rio Olympics in 2016, the Indian contingent could only win 2 medals, including 1 silver and 1 bronze. This time, India will try to turn the tables in the upcoming games. Indian athletes have prepared rigorously to qualify in huge numbers for this year's event and to ensure they give inspiring and memorable performances to their fans back home. Shooting is expected to bring the most number of medals for India at Tokyo.
विमेन शूटर टीम और मेन शूटर टीम दोनों भी बहुत अच्छे हैं। अगर बाकी देशों से कंपेयर किया जाए तो किसी की मेन टीम बहुत ही पावरफुल है, किसी की विमेन टीम बहुत पावरफुल है, लेकिन हमारे यहाँ दोनों भी बैलेंस शूटर्स है, इसलिए जो टीम इवेंट्स होने वाले हैं उसमें हमारे चांसेस बहुत ज्यादा है.
Followed by archery, but there are strong contenders across many other disciplines. We begin with one of India's most promising medal prospects, world number 1 pugilist in the men's 52 kg category, Amit Panghal, who is spearheading the strong Indian boxing contingent. Ever since he won the National Boxing Championship in the 48 kg category in 2017, his career has been on the rise. Star pugilist Mary Kom is one of India's flag bearers in the Olympics this year and is another medal prospect for the country. She has several international medals to her name, including an Olympic bronze in 2012 London Games. Competing in the 49 kg category, Mirabai Chanu became the first Indian weightlifter to qualify for the Tokyo Olympics on the basis of placing second on the absolute ranking list issued by the International Weightlifting Federation. Given India's recent performances on the global stage, shooting is a promising discipline for India. Shooter Saurabh Chaudhary is representing India in 2 events, men's 10-meter air pistol and 10-meter air pistol mixed event. He became the youngest gold medalist at the Asian Games when he won the gold medal in the 2018 Asian Games. In the 2021 World Cup in Delhi, he won medal in all the 3 categories he competed in, 2 gold in the team event and a silver in the individual event. The mixed team pair of Saurabh Chaudhary and Manu Bhakar is expected to win a medal for India. The pair won silver in the team event in Croatia earlier this year and has enjoyed much success in the World Cups over the last few years. Ilavenil Velaravin and Divyansh Singh Pawar are also a pair to watch out for in Tokyo. Ace shuttler PV Sindhu is a Rio Olympic silver medalist and will want to do one better this time at Tokyo given her biggest competitor, Spain's Carolina Marin, has withdrawn due to injury.
You need to play the sport clean, you need to be honest about it. I think it definitely is going to spread a lot of people. It's for you, you're playing the sport for yourself and you need to be happy about it and you have to play it very clean, and I think that's very important according to me.
Deepika Kumari, who is now the #1 archer in the world, is the lone female Indian archer to make the cut for the Tokyo Olympics and is coming off a hat-trick of the gold medals in the recurve event at Archery World Cup in Paris held earlier this year. She will also compete alongside Praveen Jadhav, Atanu Das and Tarundeep Rai in the team event. Star javelin throwers Neeraj Chopra has been incredibly consistent in the Olympic year, routinely throwing the javelin around the 85-meter mark and holds a very good chance of making a podium finish. India's men hockey team is ranked number 4 in the world and may just be India's best chance yet to finally end a 4-decade-long wait for success at the Olympics. And in the end, India has pinned high hopes on 7 wrestlers who have secured a spot in the Tokyo Olympics, but the brightest medal prospects in the contingent are Bajrang Punia and Vinesh Fogart. To boost the morale of Indian athletes contingent participating in the Tokyo Olympics, good wishes are pouring in from across the country under the Cheer for India campaign. Interacting with Tokyo Olympics-bound Indian athletes earlier this month, Prime Minister Narendra Modi said that they reflected the new India. He said 135 crore Indians are supporting the players taking part in the Summer Games. He said people from across the nation are cheering their favorite players. In the informal and spontaneous interaction, the Prime Minister motivated the athletes and thanked their families for their sacrifice.
मुझे ये देखकर आज खुशी होती है कि देश आपको चीयर कर रहा है। 135 करोड़ भारतीयों की शुभकामनाएं खेल के मैदान में उतरने से पहले आप सभी के लिए देश का आशीर्वाद है। मैं भी अपनी ओर से आपको ढेर सारी शुभकामनाएं देता हूं। ये बात जरूर याद रखना है कि जीतने का प्रेशर लेकर नहीं खेलना है। अपने दिल दिमाग को बस एक ही बात कहिए कि मुझे अपना बेस्ट परफॉर्म करना है। मैं देशवासियों से भी एक बार फिर कहूंगा, चीयर फॉर इंडिया। मुझे पूरा विश्वास है आप सब देश के लिए खेलते हुए देश का गौरव बढ़ाएंगे, नए मुकाम हासिल करेंगे।
In his Mann Ki Baat program on All India Radio last month, the Prime Minister advised people not to pressurize players participating in Tokyo Olympics, but to support them with an open mind and bolster their enthusiasm. He asked them to send their wishes to these players with hashtag #Cheer4India on social media.
हमें जाने अनजाने में भी हमारे इन खिलाड़ियों पर दबाव नहीं बनाना है, बल्कि खुले मन से इनका साथ देना है, हर खिलाड़ी का उत्साह बढ़ाना है। सोशल मीडिया पर आप #Cheer4India के साथ अपने इन खिलाड़ियों को शुभकामनाएं दे सकते हैं। चीयर फॉर इंडिया, चीयर फॉर इंडिया, चीयर फॉर इंडिया।
Youth Affairs and Sports Minister Anurag Thakur has urged people to make a video with their friends and family members and share it with the hashtag #HamaraVictoryPunch in support of Indian athletes representing the country in Tokyo Olympics. In a tweet, Mr. Thakur said people can make the video and tag it to 5 people and invite them to share the videos to show their support for the Indian Olympic team. He also appealed to people to make Cheer4India a mass movement.
देश के 22 राज्यों से 18 खेलों के 126 एथलीट्स टोक्यो ओलंपिक्स में 130 करोड़ भारतीयों का प्रतिनिधित्व करेंगे। हमारे खिलाड़ी अपना परचम लहराने और देश को मेडल दिलाने में जरूर कामयाब होंगे और इस ओलंपिक्स में हमारे खिलाड़ी अपना सर्वोच्च प्रदर्शन करें। एक ही संदेश देना चाहता हूँ, साथ तुम्हारे पूरा देश, बस तुम आगे बढ़ते जाना। भारत माँ का यही संदेश टोक्यो ओलंपिक में मेडल जीत कर आना।
Former track and field athlete and Arjuna awardee Ashwini Nachappa sent her good wishes to the Indian sportspersons in Tokyo.
Congratulations to all our Olympians who have qualified for the Tokyo 2020. Wishing you all the very best and have a very successful Tokyo Olympics. May you return with your best performance and make India proud. Cheer for India.
Our best wishes for Team India to come up with a sterling performance and bring laurels for the nation.
In central China's Henan province, torrential rain has affected the lives of about 3 million people, with 33 reported dead and 8 missing. The Provincial Emergency Management Department said that a total of 376,000 local residents have been relocated to safe places. Henan, one of China's most populous provinces with 94 million people, is facing a devastating rainstorm for the past few days, which has uprooted the lines of communication and transport. Several roads and railway lines were blocked by rain-triggered disasters. A report from our Beijing correspondent.
Central China's Henan province is facing historic rainstorms for past few days, which has devastated the lines of communication and transport. Even underground subway system has also been inundated. State news agency reported that rainwater has damaged more than 2,15,200 hectares of crops, causing a direct economic loss of about $188 million. Many provinces of China have faced huge flooding this year and put the infrastructure under stress. Many dams have been washed away, showing the lack of maintenance, and rivers have overflown, causing damage to the life and property. Experts warn that this may be a sign of climate change in the region. Anshman Mishra for World News, All India Radio, Beijing.
According to the state news agency, all 14 workers trapped for the past 7 days in a flooded tunnel in Zhuhai City, Guangdong Province, have been confirmed dead. Their bodies have been found by rescuers. They were trapped in the construction site of the Shijingshan Tunnel, part of the city's Xinjie Expressway, when the site was flooded on July the 15th.
India's Environment Minister Bhupendra Yadav on Thursday asserted India's commitment to working with the G20 countries to secure the health of the planet and its people. In a statement at the G20 Environment Ministerial meeting under Italian presidency, the minister underscored the need for collective global action to tide over the ongoing COVID-19 crisis. The meeting held at Naples in Italy was attended virtually by the Indian delegation led by Bhupendra Yadav. During the day-long meeting, India welcomed global initiatives like UNESCO's International Environmental Experts Network and protecting at least 30% of global land area and oceans by 2030. India also welcomed the G20 dialogue on water and underlined the need for an effective and implementable post-2020 biodiversity framework. India's Foreign Secretary Harshvardhan Shringla on Thursday met President-elect UNGA and Maldives Foreign Minister Abdullah Shahid in Delhi. He conveyed India's support to his leadership at 76th UNGA as India looks forward to working with his team under his presidency of hope.
Moving on to sports and cricket, Boons India will go on for a clean sweep when it takes on Sri Lanka in the third and final one-day international match at the R. Premadasa Stadium in Colombo on Friday. The match will start at 3 p.m. India time. India have won the first two matches to seal the series. The defeat in the second ODI against India was Sri Lanka's 9th loss in 10 completed matches in 2021, and the team is trying hard to overturn their fortunes.
Mohammad Shamim of S. Thiruvananthapuram in Kerala is the winner of Wednesday's edition of Olympic Quiz with AIR News. Congratulations to Shamim from the entire team of News Services Division of All India Radio.
Thank you very much for selecting me as a winner of Olympic Quiz. Last 40 years, I am a regular listener of All India Radio programs. Your programs give me updated information about everything about India and sports world. I wish all the best to Indian athletes waiting for your great performance.
Now let us take a look at the major developments around the world as reported in the foreign press. Washington Post also writes that Southern California cities rebel against new mask mandate. Sputnik News writes that Taliban claim control of some 90% of Afghanistan's border areas. Financial Times says that Australia warns UNESCO over placing Great Barrier Reef on its in danger list. The Guardian reports that Von der Leyen rejects Boris Johnson's bid to renegotiate Irish protocol. Gulf Times reports that thousands protest as Colombia governs amidst new tax reform plan.
A quick look at the headlines once again. India reiterates support to Afghanistan, realizing its aspirations for peaceful, democratic and prosperous future. China remains non-committal on the return of Indian students to their universities. New Delhi continues to take up the need to ease travel restrictions for Indians with foreign countries, says External Affairs Ministry. Navies of India and Britain conclude two-day bilateral passage exercise, PASEX. India committed to work with G20 countries to secure the health of the planet and its people, says Environment Minister Bhupendra Yadav. Tokyo gears up for opening ceremony of Olympic Games. Elaborate arrangements made by All India Radio, Doordarshan and DD Sports to cover the event. And in cricket, third and final one-day international match between India and Sri Lanka to be held in Colombo on Friday. India is celebrating the 151st birth anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi. Before we end, let us listen to his favorite bhajan, Vaishnav Jan, by artists from Belgium. And with that, we end this bulletin. We'll be back at the same time tomorrow with the next edition of World News.